I'm going through this reading called First Place for Health Members Guide, but I'm not really a member. I just bought the book. And it says mapping your emotional history with food. And um, it says to um, have a sheet of paper and write out each major stage of your life, starting with early childhood and ending with your current stage. So, early childhood, teen years, college years, single years, and married years. And first it goes out and says that seek God to help you dig deep inside your emotions and see why I have this addiction to food when I'm having emotional um, needs. And this other thing, there's a test here that I took, and it says to figure out if you are an emotional eater. So I'm going to answer those. Do I sometimes put food in my mouth before I realize I've done it? Yes. Does eating cause me to feel stressed or guilty? Yes. When I get into a disagreement with someone or I'm bored, do I think of eating? Yes. Do I eat more when I have a lot of time on my hands? Yes. Have I developed a strategy for dealing with my emotion that doesn't involve eating? I'm starting to. Does eating something fattening early in the day negatively affect my food choices for the whole day? Yes. Do I consider food my enemy? Sometimes. Do I wander around thinking I want something to eat, but I don't know what it is? Yes. Do I crave something to eat even when I'm not hungry? Yes. Do I sometimes snack to avoid doing something else I need to do? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. So, this is my mapping of my emotional history. My parents are refugees from Cambodia, and my grandparents died of starvation in Cambodia because of the Civil War, and my parents came here to America. And I'm the third child, and my mom, I'm the only daughter, and my mom was really excited to have me, and she realized that I like to eat. So even as a little girl, my mom kept feeding me because I kept opening my mouth and I kept wanting to eat. And so I've always been a chubby child. One thing is the effects of the war, not having anything to eat and having to experience both my, grandparents on both sides to die in Cambodia because of lack of food. They fed me. And so that was my early childhood, which I had really no control over. My childhood, what happened was, as a child, I loved my mom, and even now, and my mom would always cry because my dad, he had another family that he would go and take care of, and this other family had two daughters in that family, which are not biologically his, but he took over. And I just felt like rejected as a daughter, and so this feeling of rejection and the sadness from my mom, and my brothers always rejected me. They never really wanted to hang out with me. I think I was just this annoying little kid, and but they always messed with me. My brothers always made me cry, and I was scared of them. Like, I was honestly scared of them, and it's because my brothers were affected by my dad choosing another family at that time too, and so my oldest brother, he joined the gang, and he would smoke weed a lot. My other brother, he never joined the gang and smoked weed, but he just was always in his cell, and I just felt terrorized throughout my life, terrorized by my brothers, by my dad, because my dad would beat us. Um, and I was sexually molested when I was a child by my uncle. And my uncle used to live at our house back when I was younger. And so I was terrorized by my uncle too. And so in the beginning, you can see how I have this a very negative relationship with men in general, because I started off being terrorized by men. And so I was I've always been terrorized, but food never terrorized me. It never terrorized me, and so I ate. And I remember one time I um, I was in elementary school, and I came home and I had food, and I go to my parents' room and I'll hide the food on the side of the bed, and I would eat it, and my brother came home one day and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was hiding the food under the bed, and I said nothing, and I was watching TV but on the side of the bed, and then he went around and he looked under the bed and he saw food, and so he got really pissed. I mean, he ultimately pissed. And so he grabbed his belt and he whipped me. He whipped me like a long time. It was like more than 20 whips. And the thing, as being refugees, my parents were always working, and I was scared of my brother, so I never told my parents. Um, I never told my parents about what he did, but I remember it so clearly because it made such an impact in my life. I was screaming, I was crying out for Jesus, and it just, it didn't stop it, and so that was one experience with food. It's just like I just wanted to eat, but I would just get terrorized because I started hiding in the bathroom to eat, and when my first encounter, I'm going to change the subject. My first encounter with porn was I was very young. I was maybe like um, probably like 5 or 6 years old, and I just saw it like it was there, and I was like, I was like, what is this? Is this love? Like, to me, it was like, is this love? Like, oh, and being sexually molested, and so growing up, I just had this mentality, this sex mentality, and it was hard for me to sleep at night. And as I got older, I used to masturbate to just fall asleep. I would masturbate to cure a cold, and I was just very, like, I don't know, compulsive. And so as I got older, I became a Christian at 16, and so I gave my life to God, and then I knew this sin of lust was not good. I knew it was a bad thing. So um, I replaced it. And I just realized it this week because of the Master Cleanse that I replaced sex with food. And the reason why I know this to be true is because I remember saying all the time, whenever I watch the food channel, it's porn to me. It's like it's porn because I watch it, I drool, I am just like so drawn to it. I love to cook, I love to eat. So every time I was sick, food would, make me feel comfortable. Every time I'm sad, food would make me feel comfortable. Every time any emotional thing, I'll eat and I'll eat and I'll eat. And it's like I need to go through this food rehab, and I'm doing it in cold turkey. And I was also starting a cooking show for a Cambodian cooking show, and my intention for it is good, but I was talking to God, and I just said, Lord, food has too much fame. Food has too much fame in my life, and I don't want it to take over me. Therefore, I am choosing to live a healthy life where food is not in control of it. So I wrote more in my journal, but I encourage all of you to write in your journal, talk about why you are emotionally connected to food, and what are you deciding to do with it. Thank you for listening.